Hello, you're listening to Hugo Talks. So I got another lockdown news roundup. And a lot of it is the usual codswallop, the fear, the propaganda that we keep seeing. It's all becoming very predictable. In Ireland, the Taoiseach, the Irish version of Bonkers Boris, he came out today and he said that lockdowns could last until June. This in a country which really has not had any kind of significant numbers throughout the last 10 months. And they seem to be in perpetual lockdown. He says he's worried about the new variant. Same old story, same old line, different country. This in a country where the last Prime Minister, Leo Varadkar, actually admitted this.
Countries count differently. One thing we always did in Ireland was to count cases in care homes from day one. Other countries didn't do that. We counted suspected cases even when there wasn't a laboratory test confirming that the patient had COVID. Other countries didn't do that. And we didn't discount people who had underlying conditions like other countries did. So if somebody had stage 4 cancer, was in a nursing home, and was suspected of having COVID but didn't test positive for it, we counted that.
Don't know when this was recorded, think it was last year. Someone sent this to me on Twitter the other day. It's crazy, just out and out saying, we were marking people down as having it just because we suspected they might have it. Didn't have to have it, oh no. And does anybody question this? Nah, of course not. One strange piece of news in just now, Boris the movie. Kenneth Branagh is set to play Prime Minister Boris Johnson in a gripping Sky drama depicting the first wave of the pandemic, which is a very quick turnaround. You have to be suspicious of anyone wanting to make a drama series out of real life events that quickly. Is this an attempt to alter the narrative or to combat questions that they believe will be asked in the near future? So yeah, news-wise, it's all more of the same. Lockdowns everywhere being extended, and I suspect wherever you are, especially in Europe, Germany, Netherlands, Spain, Italy, you're probably hearing the same thing. Lockdown to be extended maybe to February, maybe it's to March or maybe longer. Newer, tougher restrictions need to be brought in on top of the restrictions last week, and the reason is the new variant that materialized a few weeks back. It's the mutation's fault. Don't blame it on the sunshine, don't blame it on the moonlight, don't blame it on the World Economic Forum, blame it on the variant. That's the variant card. It's something that can be replayed over and over forever because viruses, they continually mutate forever. And it's like, it's all just so predictable. It's all playing out with a sense of predictability that I'm sure is not lost on a lot of people now. It's interesting, this whole situation has created a massive divide in reality between people, and the contrast is immense, and it's causing a lot of arguments. And I think these arguments they're to be avoided, because if you don't have some questions about what is going on by now, if you don't, then honestly there's no hope for you, and this can be clearly seen on social media. I've just started a Telegram channel, and there's a chat room part of it. And I'll be looking at what people are saying, and one common thing I keep seeing is how a lot of you are frustrated, really frustrated, because you have friends or family who just don't see it the way you do. Some of you have parents and you talk to them and you can't get your way of seeing it through to them. It's like they are in a daze. They are hypnotized by the fear, entranced in the ongoing doom news, the doom scrolling on the phone, and they're fully buying into it. It's paralyzed them, and their brain is made of melted cheese. And you go elsewhere on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and it's clear to see there is a split in the road, and people are going to one side or the other. There is a middle of the road, and there are some people that are still in the middle of the road, and they're a little bit suspicious. They're thinking, something's not up. Something's not right, it doesn't add up, and yet they can't let go of the notion that surely the government, they wouldn't overreact, shall we say, to that extent. Surely they know what's best for us. But that middle of the road that these people inhabit is evaporating, and it won't be there for much longer, and you're going to have to choose which side. It seems on one side we have the people with the brains made of cheese, who have been forced into a state of unconscious obedience to whatever the government tells them, and they believe everything they are told. And I mean everything. No matter what you say, they put the shutters up and they close the door in your face of any rational debate towards numbers, figures, or data, or whatever it is. Any kind of proper discussion is swatted away with accusations of conspiracy theorist or tinfoil hat person. And the sadness is that they don't even realise that these names, like conspiracy theorist, were weaponized by the mainstream media in order for people like them, the easily led people, to use against people like us who are asking questions, who are using critical thinking. So on one side we have these people who seem to want to choose to be huddled in the corner of their house in perpetual fear, probably putting 2 masks on before they even attempt to open the doorknob of their front door to venture out, awaiting their jab, and then will rush out and get their biometric health passports with barcodes that will eventually be linked to their financial transactions, and then possible cashless society, and then their continual tests and more jabs. And it's just a future world of being tracked, traced, and 24-hour surveillance, with less and less freedom as it goes on. And I don't want to be part of that society. I don't want to be controlled by fear. I don't want to live in a world where I have no privacy. I don't want all my choices to be taken away by corporations who want to sell me technology to replace real experiences. I don't want a digital recreation chatbot made up of a dead family member from their social media files, which is what companies like Microsoft were saying the other day. That's what they think we want that. I don't want it. And if you do, you don't need it. I don't want to be transformed into some kind of semi-computer and have keyboards tattooed onto me. I don't want to live in a society like that. That's not for me. Whichever way you look at it, there does seem to be very opposing views to what's going on, which may at some point lead to a divide, like a parallel society. And if that's the case, then I know where I'm going to be. I don't care if it's in a hovel or in a ghetto, and it may be shite and your choices may be limited, but at least it will be more real than the future control grid world these people want us to live in. You know? Look, I'm sorry, I'm just rambling. I'm no different, to you. I go to bed some nights and I'm so angry. And then I wake up and I'm still angry. But these emotions, they're all coming from outside. And I'm allowing them to affect me. And if you're the same, then you're allowing them to affect you. So personally, I'm going to try and look at this from an objective outside view and sit back and laugh at the madness that is going on and recognize that I know what side of the road I'm on and plan accordingly, okay? Sorry for the ramble. I'll get back to the news properly tomorrow. As always, thanks for listening. Come and join like-minded people on my Telegram channel, and come and subscribe to hugotalks.com so I can keep in contact with you if YouTube at some point in the future censor this channel. I'll see you later.